Peace. Good afternoon. I'd like to welcome you back to another edition of the Foul Playland. As always, I'm your foul player. Wanted to make this video. Damn, bro, I got the ill stain on my shirt. This is one of my undergarment shirts that I'm not gonna throw away. That has gray paint on it, but I don't throw away undergarments unless they have holes. But moving on, as far as like the topic at hand, like people like myself saying that we should not pay for these fights. If you want to call it boycotting, maybe I've called it boycotting too. Who cares? Somebody may try to poke a hole into the fact that like certain people are phrasing it as a boycott, or certain people are phrasing it as stealing from fighters. I'd subscribe to the latter. I mean, if you want to see, a boycott sounds more like a political statement. No, I don't think that somebody buying a fight is a political statement. Like a lot of people on YouTube try to perpetuate that you ain't down with the race, or you ain't down with a group if you don't buy a certain fights. Meanwhile, like a lot of these cats don't even buy fights most of the times. But it's not a political statement. It's it's trollery at work. I mean, like good trollery. It's people trolling like and putting that vibe out there like that these fights are easy to take, as in easy to stream, and telling you like, listen, like fights aren't worthy to pay for, and in addition to the fact that they're not worthy of your money, there's also a way to get them free of charge. So why not? I mean, maybe people aren't. I mean, I knew of the advent of streaming fights while I was still purchasing fights. So I came to my breaking point at some point. I don't know if I could pinpoint when that breaking point was, but it's not even like that breaking point didn't even come because I was disenfranchised with the level of fights that we were getting. When this all happened, when I really started streaming fights about a year or two ago. Even though I thought that the fights we were getting weren't worth pay-per-view, or like that boxing was slowing down as far as giving us premier matchups, it wasn't that type of party when I first started streaming fights. But at this stage of the game, like when you got people like, namely Errol Spence, avoiding big fights to run into mediocre fights, when all he's had throughout his career have been decent to mediocre fights. Those are okay fights. Those are smirk fights. They're not smile fights. But when you got people like that running into fights that nobody wanted to see a couple months ago, then why not? I mean, then Errol Spence is going to be the first target in a real campaign of people being disenfranchised and not wanting to buy fights. Fuck him. I think it's a perfect target, actually. I mean, to me, I view Errol Spence as more of a serial offender than even Tank Davis, who hasn't given me a fight that I've wanted to see his entire career. I mean, but Tank Davis is young. Errol Spence isn't young. I mean, Errol Spence pretty much opened the door to a lot of this Bud versus Errol controversy by calling his name out for years. I mean, it calls his name out on social media or through some ragged interview, and then when it comes time to put pen to paper or try to negotiate, oh sure, I may not know what's happening behind the scenes, but I do know that we haven't gotten the fight for no good reason. So I mean, like, if Errol Spence becomes the first target of this campaign, I mean, like that's just making the meal taste that much better for me and other people. I think a lot of other people who are really perpetrating this campaign at this time are people that probably liked Errol Spence a couple of years ago. I mean, and like me, I didn't come out the gate like thinking that Errol Spence is a clown. Like, I mean, like it's really cemented in my mind these last 2 months that Errol's a clown. And I think other people are seeing the same thing. And if you come late to the party, or you were a Errol apologist and you come late to the party, i.e., like right before you're at a decision of whether you're going to pay for pay-per-view or you're going to stream it. I mean, we got more than enough space on this boat. You're down. You could come onto this arc. Do you want to swim with these crabs, or do you want to save that 75 balls and use it for some other shit. I mean, the choice is easy. I mean, and these cats that are making it seem like you're not down, like, or you ain't a brother any longer, or whatever, because you're not paying for a fight. Listen, a lot of these dudes work at Costco, and they've had Brad at the shipping department say racist shit to them, and they don't say shit. They walk away like little bitches, like, I don't want to lose the job. Like, so you're gonna try to compel me to take my hard-earned money to try to make a political statement. Otherwise, I'm shitting on the brothers, or like, otherwise somebody else isn't a brother. Get the fuck out of here, bro. I'm too old for that crap. And this is a new day. I mean, you're entering an era where people are lying to you left and right on TV, left and right in the political field, left and right in entertainment even. And they're trying to show you how dope these dudes are when they're really not. Like, these rappers today are the equivalent of, these fighters today are the equivalent of rappers. None of them are shit. Like, they all copy each other's style. None of them sticks out more than the other one unless they're wearing a dress. But besides that, this era of cats, unless somebody does something outstanding or like they're really pursuing of action, which frankly, even though I think Bud Crawford is pursuing of action, he's not doing anything outstanding either. Like, to be frank, I think he should have been at the rooftops, like screaming out Errol's name, a lot more than he's done. But he's doing it now while Errol Spence ain't doing shit, in that nature, or doing shit that makes it seem like he's gonna race into a Bud Crawford fight immediately after this Ugas fight. Everything Errol Spence is putting out, even after he agreed to fight Ugas, has been some avenue out of a fight. Why I gotta do all the heavy lifting? Like, come on, bro. Nobody told you to go fight no Ugas, and that's not heavy lifting. That's medium lifting. That's a gallon of milk. That's a 24 pack of water you're lifting. Ain't shit. And nobody told you to do it at the end of the day. We wanted you to fight Bud, period. So, you may try to be coy as far as tweets go and give people a little bit of a rope to hang themselves with in 2 months by putting out an emoji and making it seem like you're pursuing of action, or kind of giving the illusion that your fight may or may not be free. Fuck Errol Spence, bro, at this point. He's the principal boxing rip-off artist. I'm not going to say cheat or, he's a rip-off artist. And to have a faction of people here online, like, making it seem like, you're not a part of a core group or part of a race, god damn it. Because you're not supporting a dude like Errol Spence. I understand if you wanted to go on about supporting Wilder in a fiscal sense even, because of what Wilder stood for as far as like for the brothers. Just by making one quote. I think Wilder's done, if you want to support Wilder as far as on the basis of him being a brother, at least Wilder's putting some of that out there. Like, what's Errol Spence doing that's so brotherly, like, all that, like, my man, like, this dude looks like a prep school kid, bro. Like, what struggle he's been through, like, that, or what's his victory gonna do for the brothers besides like give a few percentage points against another brother in Bud Crawford, like in a negotiation, which in a fight that I don't even think is gonna happen. You think if right now it's 60-40 in some people's eyes and he beats Ugas, what are these same people gonna say? Even if it's 60-40, if that's a sticking point as to why we're not making the fight, do you think that's gonna change? Like, you think Bud Crawford is gonna have a come to God moment because he realizes that Errol Spence has beaten the almighty Ugas? Hells no, bro. Ugas. Like, what a name. Like, get out of here, bro. Like, don't let these people fool you. It ain't that kind of party, bro. Like, and I don't care if you like dissed me in the past and you come like to this format. As long as you come to the party, bro, like, we got no problem. I don't even got a problem if you diss me and you come here to diss me again. Frankly, it's YouTube. And like, a lot of these things don't play out in real life. But we're only a few days from the Ugas announcement, and you're already getting this riveted talk of boycotting fights. It's no coincidence that a lot of this stuff started with Errol Spence. or a lot of this talk of boycotting fights is really starting with Errol Spence. I mean, there may have been calls for a boycott in the past, but right now Errol Spence is in a really tough position as far as one fight right before a couple weeks ago that got clobbered on pay-per-view in Tank Davis by the same cats that are trying to bring you Errol Spence. So he already knows what the deal is. Like, you know, like that, because people ain't even boycotting for Thurman and Barrios. And that fight's going to do trashy too. People aren't calling a boycott Luis Ortiz versus Charles Martin, and that fight is trash too. And both those fights are pay-per-view. People are taking aim centrally at Errol Spence. And with good reason. I mean, it's not magic. It's not because a few cats on the internet made a video. You know, like I said, other boycotts were called for in the past. And nobody was tripping. You know, other boycotts were called for bigger people by bigger people than mine, who control groups that are way bigger than me on boxing YouTube. Nobody was bitching then. And it was boycotts against a brother in Keith Thurman. So at the end of the day, I mean, like, you know, and those shits weren't hitting like that. I mean, like, Keith Thurman may have lost the respect, but they still streamlined him to fight Pacquiao rather than anybody else. And I'm not giving him props for that. You know, but the boycott wasn't hitting. This one will. And that's why these dudes are running around scared on the internet, bro. And it is what it is. And I laugh at that, bro. You know, and any instance or any excuse that these twos try to formulate to dissuade you otherwise from or like from refraining from buying a fight, or try to entice you to buy a fight because of making you feel like, you know, you're down and shit like that. I'm gonna come out with content for every one of those excuses. I mean, like, if you want to come with a campaign online on YouTube, making it seem like abstaining from buying this fight, particularly Errol Spence, and try to come up with some cute reasoning or while you're taking a shit and thinking that, you know, tomorrow I'm gonna say this, and like try to convince cats, like, you know, that if you're not done with Errol Spence, you know, you ain't part of it. Like, no, like, I'll poke a hole in any one of it. I don't care who does it on YouTube. Like, you know, or you know, it is what it is. And again, I don't got no problems with none of you cats, bro. Like, you know, and y'all don't have a problem with me. You know, I would say that I would continue to attend fights in person, but I ain't about to take that thing to go enter into a fight in New York City at this time. But if they don't continue with the bullshit in here in New Jersey, sure, I'll go to the fights, bro. Solo dolo. You know, anybody could approach me, and I'm very noticeable. Like, I'm not a ultra familiar looking dude, bro. I stick out in certain circumstances. You know what I look like. If you got an issue with me and you want to tell me that, like, during a fight or whatever, like, you know, or outside of a fight, that's on you. I mean, like, you know, you're holding that in your chest, like, to try to approach a person in person, like, to bitch about my stance. I mean, good for you. I mean, it's not gonna, but the conversation ain't gonna go like any way you envision it. You know, or I'm not gonna change my tune because you're in front of me. Like, I'm gonna tell you the same shit, if not worse, depending on how you get in front of me. You know, so it's not like this is some troll job from some cat who lives on the internet. Like, this is my most internet shit I've done in my fucking life, and that's because I'm currently interned in this house and I really can't do shit. But this is happening at the right time. I've been like thinking that Errol Spence is shaky, but him racing into a Ugas fight while I'm going through this injury, I mean, in my eyes, it's some of the magic of life. It's meant to be. God put me here at this time for this mission, and Lord, will I carry it on. But with that, I'm out, bro. Don't let these dudes guilt trip you, bro. Like, these dudes, at the end of the day, bro, they're just trying to be pulpit pastor type dudes, bro. Like, they're just trying to get you bread and make you feel like you down with something and give you some feel good shit. Right now, you know, since these lockdowns have happened, and you gotta have, like, you know, 1/6 of the people that you normally had in church because of the 6 feet apart bullshit. You know, these churches ain't hitting like that. You know, the songs don't sound the same. So maybe during lockdown, people came into YouTube boxing and found some characters that are very reminiscent of urban preachers, pimp preachers, if you will, and started latching onto that and started seeing that maybe if you disagree with a lot of these cats, that people will jump all over you, but that these cats also try to pimp out like a lot of national pride, if you will, or try to make it seem like there's enemies like of the races behind every bush. Like it ain't nothing like that, bro. Like I'll criticize anybody. You never see me capping for a Spanish fighter, and I have a decent library on YouTube. I think I have like 300 something videos. I'm Puerto Rican straight up. My fucking dad was from Bayamon, and my mom's from Comerío. You know, I went like show me, and since I've been making videos, me capping for a Puerto Rican fighter or a Spanish fighter, if that. It ain't that kind of party, bro. It's boxing, bro. Like fucking, if you see like I'm not saying like a lot of these the yuppie white boys like I don't see in race. Like nah, like race is there. I mean like, but I mean a lot of these cats that try to pimp it out, they're making it a bigger deal than really what it is. Period. Like what are they doing like to change things up? Besides shitting on another brother in Bud Crawford, like a brother who's doing the right thing, who ideally, like I hope a lot of you guys that are young become like stick out with one woman and have kids with her, procreate with the right lady, and raise your family, stick around. And that lady happens to be a sister in Bud's wife. You know what I'm saying? And there's a cat that was raised with no pops, has a little bit of hood in them, been bucked up in the streets, like shot. And I'm not saying I'm not glorifying that, but y'all cats will glorify that. Or y'all cats will glorify shit that's very similar to that. But y'all choose to shit on this man because why? Bud Crawford, chose to read like he's a slave. Like yo, like y'all like are coming at other dudes sideways for threatening to boycott a fight and making it seem like y'all shitting on brothers if you boycott a fight. But meanwhile, y'all for years with this other side of your mouth, will call a cat a slave. You know what I'm saying? Like that's double talk, bro. And at the end of the day, bro, like it is what it is, bro. Like yo, if you got an issue with what I'm saying, bro, like air it out. But you won't, bro. Like a lot of these cats run behind the scenes and talk shit about me or talk shit about other cats like on YouTube. And I'm a nobody, bro. I'm essentially a nobody on YouTube. I have 130 something subs. And I'm not like, and it doesn't change anything whether I had 10,000 or, like made one smidge of the difference. But these dudes are trying to play crowd control or trying to play the manipulation tactic and trying to make it seem like anybody who's any bit critical of Errol Spence is as if you're being critical of Jesus Christ. Well, one, I'm not atheist, like, but I'm not Christian. But two, Errol Spence ain't that dude, bro. Like, period. You're gonna try to convince other people or some lames across the way, like as if Errol Spence is doing something otherworldly. He's not. He hasn't, and he doesn't seem like he's heading into doing anything otherworldly. The only fight people want him to fight is Bud. Period. Him beating Charlo ain't shit. At the end of the day, Charlo's been beat. But and I already know how this game is gonna play out. At the end of the day, Errol's gonna rush into a mandatory with that European cat that's probably gonna be the mandatory after this, and all these dudes are gonna say, "Well, he ain't trying to lose that, bro." Like, and you compare it to Tyson Fury, like he's holding a belt. If Tyson Fury tries to not get into a fight with Dillian White, and loses his belt in the process because he wants to go chase greener pastures, will people say, oh, well, Dillian White versus whoever is the real unification and Tyson Fury is no longer shit because he dropped his belt? No way. Like, if Dillian White were to beat Usyk and grab all the belts, people will still consider Tyson Fury a better champion than him. Or people would do a little bit of reading and then come to the conclusion that Dillian White won that belt, but he didn't beat Tyson Fury. and it will still be, like Tyson Fury wouldn't lose no gas because of that. But I'm only saying this because I'm predicting that Errol Spence is gonna rush right into a fight with his mandatory or with a mandatory right after this Ugas fight, and people are gonna come over here cheering that on. But at the end of the day, if Bud is the only fight that matters, whether it's for no belts or the belt, I mean, if Errol Spence is gonna rush into it, a lot of these crabs online are gonna say, "Well, his dream was to unify the division. He's never deviated from that. So if you gotta take a mandatory to keep one of them belts, that's still unify the division." Like fucking. So let's lance our way into mediocrity and continue to pay for Errol Spence fighting mediocre fights. Nah, bro, it ain't that kind of party, bro. People aren't dumb in 2022, bro. Shit, people remember shit that happened a couple months ago, bro. Like these content creators try to front like you're a Koopa Trooper on Mario Brothers, and you see Mario right in front of you, and then he jumps behind you, and you forgot that you had Mario in front of you, the guy you were supposed to kill as a Koopa Trooper. Nah, bro, you're a lot smarter than that. You already know like that Errol Spence has been being evasive for years. He was super evasive these last 2 months, dipping out from a stadium. Like, we ain't see that. Well, it's a business thing because the thing was that he heard Bo Mack from 20 rows down, and he's saying that you couldn't come into this ring. Like, what? Like, all right, show me the video. It's different. It's business. Nah, bro. Like, these dudes are idiots online, bro. Like, all these dudes perpetrating on these channels are frauds. Frauds. Anybody bringing a race into a fight that could be made or lost between two brothers are lost. They're morons. Morons. Connivers. They know better. And the thing is, too, that a lot of these content creators that are fronting right now online know a ton more boxing than me. I've been watching boxing probably decades more than I've been watching boxing. Like, these dudes know better. And if you're one of these dudes, like, listening to this content right now, shame on you, bro. And there's some cases that are worse than others, but one of those cases on a personal level is the channel that I came onto YouTube, or that the reason I started creating content on YouTube boxing. That was my inspiration, that channel. And that channel now is fucking swallowing dick. Swallowing dick because he don't want to say anything critical of Errol Spence. And he don't want to say anything complimentary in Bud Crawford's direction. So now he's swallowing fucking whole dicks and loving it and telling you like you're wrong for not liking the taste. Pause. But it is what it is, bro. Like, don't think that these people like are bulletproof, or they don't deviate from what they're telling you is their sole goal. In October, and then they switch it up in December, entirely. Don't think that these people are crabs, bro, on YouTube. Not all of them. There's a lot of good channels out there, and it's Mark Nash, CJ Goodfella. There was a cat I just heard yesterday, like the Black Picasso or Boxing Picasso, like fantastic channel. Trying to think, there's tons of others, man, and it's not like taking shots at any groups either, bro. Like Junior the Truth, I listen to Junior the Truth pretty much every day, bro, and I would comment on Junior the Truth's channel if it weren't for a bunch of crabs that try to be salty or try to sneak this, and then I don't want to start no shit by getting into like some long heated debate via chat, like when I'm most times driving in a whip. Like, I listen to everybody, bro, and I got love for a lot of these channels too. Or I got love for a lot of channels, but I think that a lot of channels are wrong. A lot of these content creators are wrong. A lot of these boxing communities are dead wrong. And like the time for bullshit is over, bro. We might be going into a lockdown any minute. I don't cheer that shit on, and I'm not fucking one bit shook of no common cold, bro. But like, it is what it is. I mean, we went through a lockdown fucking last year. Or would you be surprised if we going through another lockdown? And what if at the end of that lockdown, we gotta wait a couple more months to get an Ugas fight? And what if at the end of that Ugas fight, some commission says, well, Stanionis has been waiting too long and that fight gotta be made, and then we're gonna wait more? Bro, life's too short, bro. Like motherfuckers are dying out here like every day, you know, and you could be next. So what are you gonna? Your last words are gonna be, you know, well, I paid for that Ugas fight, and I'm gonna go into the gates of heaven. Like, nah, bro. Like, fuck the. You'll be thinking more along the lines of I missed the opportunity to watch Bud Crawford and Errol go at it. Like, period, bro. Like, don't let these dudes like hype you, bro. Things are very simple. Think logically, bro. Don't get inspired by these cats that are pimps, that are hustlers, that are one step away from being in a pulpit, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, fuck these dudes, bro. We don't got no time for any of this stuff, bro. Like, we're running through these fake narratives instantly, bro. You throw up one argument, bro, and that shit doesn't work 2 days after you launch that shit, bro. So with that, I'm out, bro. Like, I hope you guys like, comment, subscribe, show your boys some love on this end, and maybe I'll go live tonight. I don't know. But with that, I'm out. Hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your evening. Peace.